Oh no, I've had a crash. That was a bad meme. I think there were people watching me doing that. Hello lads, so after that ridiculous intro, you'll probably be surprised to know that this is a sort of semi-serious video. We're going to be talking about what legally you have to do if you have an accident in your car, if you have a car crash, no matter how small, ranging from small ones to the bigger sort of dodgier ones, shall we say. What you legally have to do, and then what you should do. I've had this video requested a few times already from several people because it does seem a bit of a grey area on terms of what people actually know, what they think they should legally do and so forth. If you have a crash and people, property or animals were involved, then you need to stop. Legally you're going to have to stop if there's property damaged or people damaged, basically. If there are any injuries during a crash, make sure you're getting the ambulance called as fast as you can. But if people are bleeding, if people have broken things, then get on an ambulance. And if there's a car in the road, if there's a car blocking the passage of anywhere, then you're going to need to get the police on the phone so they can come and help you move the thing as well. Legally, you're going to have to give your name and address to anyone involved who has the right to know and has been involved with the accident. So say if you crash into someone else, then you're going to want to exchange names and addresses with them so you can sort it out legally and you won't have any problems with their insurance and things like that. And they know the parties that are involved. Make sure that you give them the registration of your car and you get the registration of the offending vehicle as well. And if the car is not under your name, make sure you give them the name of the registered owner of the car as well. So if it's your dad or something, it's your dad's car, make sure you give them his name as well as yours, sort of thing. So on the motorway, if you do have a crash on there, a really handy tip to know is the SOS phones, which I will put a picture of there. They will let emergency services pinpoint exactly where you are. So if you're on the motorway in between junction 10 and 11 or something like that, you go to one of those SOS phones, which you might have to walk a little bit down to find, and the police will know exactly where to come and get you, or ambulance or whatever. Piece of information that I heard was that if you don't exchange details at the scene of an accident, then you should really report it to the non-emergency police, which the number is 101. If you give them a ring and just let them know where and what happened, so if there's any damage on the road, things like that, they can come and sort it out. You don't need to phone 999 if it's not one of those emergency, someone's exploded situations, but if there's road damage, there's car damage and an accident's happened, then 101, let them know what happened, where it was, and that can be recorded and marked down. It's not necessarily a legal thing, but most insurance companies ask that you phone them within 24 hours of an accident too, or your policy you could have no cover, basically. They could invalidate your cover. So make sure you're giving your insurance company a ring, even if you don't intend to make a claim, and chat through with them about what happened. A quick side note as well, if you hit a parked car, if you scrape a parked car or whatever, if you were just trying to parallel park and you bump them and you leave a dent or whatever, please leave a message on their windscreen with your details, because there's nothing worse than coming back, and I'm sure we've all experienced this, the cars that have been dented when you were away because you've just been parked up at a supermarket or whatever, and there's a big gouge out the front. Shout out Boosted, who I recently saw his MX-5 got hit and run recently at a car park somewhere and the boot smashed in a bit. Things like that are ridiculous. So please, if it's your fault, I know it's horrendously embarrassing and you might feel horrible, but genuinely people would much rather you just owned up and got it over with. It makes you much bigger of a person than just running off. And it's illegal, so don't do that. One of the most important things really, and it should preface everything here first, is if you have an accident, it doesn't matter whose fault it is, make sure you stay calm and check that everyone is okay. Don't go in there aggressive and saying whose fault it was, or people say you shouldn't even really blame yourself if you think it was your fault. Let the insurance companies deal with that first. Your words can be used against you if they're recorded in any way. Say if someone has a dash cam, or even if you say it and they write down that you've said it, that can be used against your claim in the future. So please be careful. Just make sure that everyone's okay and attend to people's injuries first. Quick tip. If you think someone's got a neck or a back injury, don't go yanking them out the car because you don't want to be paralyzing people, please. So you're going to want to make sure you find as safe as possible a place to stop, a lay-by if possible, somewhere off a road, and if you can, not so it's blocking any pathway or road entrance, that sort of thing. If your car's obviously, if you can't move it, then don't try and risk yourself pushing it on a motorway, or don't do anything silly. If you're on a motorway, get over the barrier as fast as you can and get to one of those SOS phones. Get away from the road itself, because motorways are surprisingly dangerous just for a person stopped. And if it's at night, make sure if you've got a visibility jacket, you've got one of those on. That'll be a big help for you and just make you feel that little bit safer. I'm going to stay away from medical advice or anything like that because I'm as dumb as I look. And the only thing I'm vaguely good at is car things, so that's all I'm going to touch on. If you're at the scene of an accident as well, it can actually be really helpful to write down notes on your phone or on a piece of paper or anywhere of the conditions, take photos of what's happened. If you've got photos on your phone or a dash cam footage or something like that, all of that's gold to insurers and can make things much smoother when it comes to settling claims. So write down the weather conditions, the road conditions, any holes in the road, what sort of damage the cars have got, and camera phones especially good for this. Take loads of pictures of the, the actual damage and get the names and details and everything, and just write down as much information as you can. This will stop you having to rack your brains, because I remember when I had an accident when my car got rear-ended, I forgot something like the street name, and it was a pain in the arse. I had to go search it up on Google Maps, and yeah. Real talk, Lance, I just got kicked out of the area I was just in. It's a problem with recording. It's really difficult to find places to like piss around and just they're semi-private. I don't think they like me knocking over the washer fluid bottles with my car. One thing that is really helpful though, if you do see a crash on the road and you did get dash cam footage of it, that is really helpful to just stop and give them your details to let them know you got footage of an accident, because that can settle claims straight out rather than them being costly and like 50-50 split and all that. All right, thank you for watching this all over the place video today, guys. I hope you got something out of it. Let me know in the comments what videos you would like to see in the future, as they're really helpful. Make sure you subscribe because it's free, and thumbs up for free and all that as well. Thank you for being amazing. Drive safe, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.